The Taylor Decker situation with the Detroit Lions today is one of those stories that actually tells you a lot more about where this franchise is than just veteran left tackle deciding whether to play or not. Because the timing of everything that happened, Brad Holmes speaking this morning at the combine, talking about needing clarity, stressing respect for Decker's process. And then hours later, Decker basically announces, yeah, I'm back for year 11. That's not coincidence. That's a contender managing real world roster pressure in real time. And I got to tell you, I think Holmes' tone today was really revealing. He wasn't talking about Taylor Decker like an aging contract problem. He was talking about him like a pillar, which he is. This is a guy who's been the Detroit Lions left tackle since 2016, who lived through the losing years, the rebuild, and then finally the rise into contention. And Holmes basically said, look, he's earned the right to take his time deciding after the kind of season he just had. But, and this is the key, we need to know soon. We've got a league year coming, free agency coming, cap planning coming. That's a GM speaking two languages at once, respect and urgency. And the urgency makes total sense when you understand what Decker went through in 2025. The shoulder injury wasn't just a football injury. It was the kind that makes you question whether you want to keep doing this at all. He openly talked after the season about pain, about family, about not wanting to sacrifice being a present dad if his body couldn't hold up. I mean, we all understand that. That's not contract leverage talk. I mean, he's being very genuine. That's a veteran confronting the end. So when Holmes says they're giving him space, I believe him. But when he also says they need clarity in the next couple weeks, that's the reality of being a Super Bowl contender with a $20+ million left tackle cap hit. It just is what it is. And here's why this mattered so much for Detroit specifically. The Lions can't just lose a left tackle right now. They're not rebuilding. They are firmly in championship window. Everything about this team, the offense, the protection, the identity is built around offensive line stability. So the idea that your blindside protector might retire in late February, that's not just a roster move. That's structural risk. So when Decker posts send me #year 11 and says he's back, it basically resolves Holmes' entire morning storyline within hours. And you could almost feel the relief in Allen Park through the screen because now the Lions know, okay, we have our 2026 left tackle. We have continuity. We're not scrambling in free agency. The offensive line core stays intact for another run. But here's where Holmes' comments get really interesting. And this is the part for Lions fans that they should pay attention to. Even while hoping Decker would return, both Holmes and Campbell made it clear they still need another tackle. And that tells you everything. This is not Detroit saying, great, we're set for years. This is Detroit saying, we've got one more year with our cornerstone. Now we need to plan the succession. And that's exactly how contenders operate. They don't wait for the drop-off. They don't let a legend walk and then panic. They overlap generations. So Decker coming back doesn't change the draft board much, not in my opinion. If anything, it clarifies it. You can draft and develop behind him instead of forcing a rookie into the most important line position on a Super Bowl hopeful. There's also something deeper here culturally. Decker is one of the last direct links to the pre-Holmes, pre-Campbell Lions. And instead of being pushed out by a new regime, he's become a symbol of the new one. Toughness, loyalty, playing through pain, choosing to keep going for one more run with a team that finally wins. I mean, you can't really teach that. That's just how the guy feels. That's what he wants to do. That matters in a locker room. When young players see a veteran who's made his money, made a Pro Bowl, considered retirement, and still says, I'm coming back anyways, I'm coming back for this group, that reinforces everything Detroit has built. But you can also hear the final chapter tone in Holmes' words. He never talked about Decker like a long-term piece today. I mean, it wasn't that kind of conversation at all. It was always framed around this decision, this year, this timeline. That's not disrespect, that's realism. Offensive tackles in their mid-30s with major shoulder injuries don't suddenly reset their career clock. The Lions know this is likely the last stretch. So the Taylor Decker situation today ends up being this really clean snapshot of where Detroit is at as a franchise. Mature, contender level, emotionally intelligent, but financially disciplined. They honored the veteran. They gave him space. They were honest about needing an answer. And then when he gave it, the roster stabilized instantly. And so the bottom line for Lions fans tonight is simple. Your left tackle is back for another run. Your championship window stays intact. And your front office is already planning for life after him. And that's exactly the way elite teams do it. Keep it locked. You're listening to Midnight Sports Detroit.